YouTube, RJ, talking about Francis Ngannou. That motherfucker built different. That's all I can say about that guy. This is a weird angle because I'm charging my phone while I'm filming, but I think this is better. Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and Andy Ruiz. How I think those matchups would play out. We saw with Ngannou fighting Fury that this man is no joke, and I've been known that. When I saw him make the tactical adjustment to beat up Stipe, wrestle Stipe in the rematch and whoop his ass, knock him out, horrible, crazy knockout, I knew he was the real deal. When he was fighting Cyril Gane, I had picked Gane to beat Ngannou. He knew that Gane on the feet would probably outpoint him and steal his title. He knew Gane was going to keep it long with the kicks, to the legs, changing levels to the legs and to the midsection, to the head. Good feints, good jab. Gane is a cerebral striker. So Francis knew right off the jump, yeah, I got to take this motherfucker down. And that's what he did. John Jones knew that too. Even John didn't want to stand with Cyril. So credit where credit's due. John Jones is built different as well, but I'm pretty sure everybody knows that already. But not a lot of... Damn, those cops. Damn, that's a fire truck too. I don't know if y'all can hear that. They're going crazy out there. Anyway, yeah. So Ngannou is truly built different. That man has a tactical mind like a motherfucker. That man is smart. His game plan against Tyson Fury was low-key genius. He said, okay, I'm a big-ass 270-pound African warrior, so I'm not going to bite on his feints, because so what if he punches me? That shit ain't going to hurt me anyway. So he didn't bite on any of Fury's feints. He just stood there and looked at him. Dead ass in his grill, like that. Just stood there and looked at him. Not a single reaction to one of Fury's feints. That was very smart because he knew he could take his power, and he knew that biting on those feints would provide openings that Fury would take advantage of. He didn't give Fury those opportunities. He stayed consistent moving forward, behind that guard, up in Fury's shit, not biting on his feints. That threw Fury off a lot. It made Fury have to initiate contact. And when Fury, with his long arms, initiates contact and wants to come in and power punch and be a bully and smother, that opens an opportunity for the shorter, albeit much more powerful man in Francis to punch in between Fury's combinations. And that's where you see Ngannou knocking Fury down with that left hook. He punched in between Fury's combination. That was his game plan. That was strategy. That wasn't luck. He was looking for that all night. And we saw that consistently, that Ngannou had a game plan and he stuck to it. And he has the physicality, the frame. He's 6'4", 277 pounds, pure fucking muscle. He's got a skull like a fucking brick. Okay, the guy is a beast. So, knowing what we know about Francis, I'd say that we could put him in a boxing ring with any of the top 10 heavyweights, and it'll be an interesting fight, to say the least. It'll be interesting. I don't think he necessarily beats everybody, but I think he's a fucking threat to all of them. Now, all that being said, the other heavyweights in the division are now put on notice. They know that this Francis guy is not for play. He's not just a joke. If you go in there sloppy and shit, he will fuck you up. Because he was fucking Fury up pretty good, doesn't he? Well, fucking, but yeah, so first one, Ngannou versus Joshua. How I see that playing out. Joshua's a much more reserved fighter now. He's much more patient. He likes to stay in his high guard. He likes to initiate everything off the jab. He's kind of emulating Errol Spence a little bit in a way. And I think that's that, what is his fucking name? D something. Derek James. Yeah, that's that Derek James tutelage reflecting upon him. And, it's a mixed bag. I didn't like the Hellenius fight, from a viewing perspective. It was a bit boring. But it was a last-minute replacement. It was a taller guy, a lankier guy, a guy that did not want to initiate, a guy that was backing up all night. So I give AJ something of a pass with that fight. It's not who he trained for, and it was somebody that did not want to engage at all, but still had a good jab that he could stick out there. And AJ ultimately still got the emphatic KO, so I can only scrutinize him so much for that performance, given the circumstances. Against Ngannou, I actually see it being a boring-ass fight. Disappointingly enough, I think it would be a pretty boring fight. I think AJ would respect Ngannou's power. My Saudi, the video cut out, my phone being low on battery tonight. But yeah, Francis does have a punching world record, technically speaking, at the UFC headquarters, I believe. And you saw how he put Fury on his ass from an arm punch, so Joshua will respect Ngannou's power. He'll stay behind his guard. He'll stay behind a long jab all night. And I think he would just keep Francis at bay with a hard, stiff jab. Pause. And I think he won't give Francis the opportunity to counter him, necessarily. Could I see Joshua stopping Francis? Sure. It's not the most likely option, I don't think, because Francis is a freak of nature, and Joshua will want to be careful against him, but I could see it. I would give Joshua a 70% chance of beating Francis Ngannou. Deontay Wilder. What a fucking wild card. It's literally in his name, Wilder. There's not a wilder man on the planet. Like, that man will do the Euro shuffle in the ring. Guy's wilding out. The thing about Deontay is we saw last time out against Hellenius, it only lasted like 2 minutes, and he was on his bike, and he set up that counter right hand in the corner, stepping off to the side, making Robert miss, and then making him pay. So I did like that aspect of it. And I think if Wilder brings that same kind of game plan against Ngannou, I think that it could work. And I think he could actually land that one hitter against Ngannou, because Wilder hits hard enough and is crazy enough to put his everything into that one shot. And I think that's what you would have to do to beat Ngannou. Either box extremely safely or have the fucking right hand of God. And I don't think Wilder is the strongest puncher ever, but I do think he puts his whole ass into that right hand. And I think if he hits Ngannou with that shit could be devastating. With Wilder and Ngannou, that's a 50-50 to me. Straight up, that's 50-50. Because I could also see Ngannou coming in with a good game plan, because he's shown that consistently through his career. He's a fucking brilliant man. He will come in with a plan. I could see him smothering Wilder, and with him being 270 pounds and as strong as he is, I could see him making it a terrible night for Wilder. So I would give that fight a 50-50. It's a toss-up. Not Wilder. Ngannou versus Ruiz. This is going to be a hot take. This is a little controversial. I think Francis Ngannou is in his current iteration and the last version of Andy Ruiz we saw. I think he would maul Andy Ruiz. And I know that's a hot-ass take. That's a hot take, but hear me out. We saw Ruiz with a much older, much more declined Luis Ortiz, and Ortiz was hitting his ass all night with that backhand. If it wasn't for the knockdowns, that would be a close fight on the scorecards. If it wasn't for Ruiz landing the knockdowns, that would be a close fight. Okay? And even with the knockdowns, it still wasn't that wide of a gap. So I look at his last performance out. I see him getting hit consistently by an older, more declined Luis Ortiz. And I see that Francis Ngannou is younger than Ortiz and is definitely stronger. I would say definitely hits harder, overall. And I see how Ngannou manhandled a 270-pound Fury in the clinch. And I see the size difference that Ngannou would have over Ruiz. Pause. And I see that Ngannou is a disciplined, experienced fighter that will execute a game plan. And he has an understanding of timing. And he has an understanding of distance management. I think he would beat Ruiz. I think it would be by KO as well. Hot take. Kill me now. Rip my intestines out and feed them to me. Brutal medieval type shit. I don't care. But I'm standing on that. I think the current iteration of Ruiz that we see, that's not as disciplined, that's getting hit consistently, that is turning down these big fights, I don't think he goes in there and beats Ngannou. I don't. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it.